All right, let's see. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Is this working? Hold on. Can't hear anything. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Wildblade from Creative Media Vault, and I'm back. This week. So I before I just started to stream, explaining like how my 2D game kit works, but I had a little bit of a technical problem, so I decided to go ahead and restart this stream. So I hope this one's working fine. All right, so very quickly, things are going pretty well. So I hope all of you are doing well and progressing with your game projects is well. Let's see. I know that everybody's kind of a little bit preoccupied right now with what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. So I hope that that situation resolves itself very soon, very quickly, and that NATO can kind of find a good, decent answer, for getting that resolved, and doing what needs to be done. So my prayer then everything go, with the people of Ukraine who are like being very brave and fighting hard right now, as they should be. So, any kind of support that, you can give to them, please, please do so because they can really use it. And I'm really happy with the way that the world is kind of responding to this at the moment. On this side, we did have a big earthquake in Japan yesterday. Fortunately, nobody was very few people were injured compared to the size of the quake. It was actually pretty big, and we actually had a power outage here in Tokyo, in our area of Tokyo, which never happens. But me and the family are doing fine, and there wasn't any real major damage to this area, but the Fukushima area took quite a big hit, and we're also worried about aftershocks. So we're kind of having to keep an eye on that. So keep us in your prayers as well. Um, Other than that, things are just kind of progressing as normal. Still kind of dealing with Omicron and coronavirus, which is starting to die down a little bit, thankfully. Um, and yeah, not too much else has really changed since the last stream. So what you're looking at right now is you're looking at some of the character designs for my main Kickstarter game, CDULO The Outer Rim, which I am still working on and which I will be going back to focusing on at the end of this month. Now that my 2D game kit has been completed and has been launched. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking at today, but these are just some of the cool character designs. I did have like some fan art. Someone did do some fan art for me, like a friend of mine. So you can check him out on Instagram as well. So, here, let's show this a little bit more. So check out Space Rookie 15 on Instagram, and he's got some really good art. And you can contact him for commissions if you need to. All right, yeah, so this is a game that I will start working on again at the end of this month, now that my 2D game template has been completed. Um, for those of you, who have been like kind of keeping up on my channel, you'll notice that we've kind of been working on this game right here. So, what I've done is I'll go to the main menu, and this is kind of, where we're at right now, but I've created a separate version of this game that I've turned into a downloadable demo. So you can actually download this game template right now and start using it to make your own games for free until the end of this month. So just to show you what it looks like, um, sorry, my voice is still a little bit messed up. It's really, really early in the morning and I need to go to bed, but all right, so this is what we have so far, and this is what you'll find in the downloadable game template. So we have our basic menu, and this game template is designed to be, it's basically specifically designed for like non-programmers, right? So if you don't know how to code and you don't know that much about Unity, like Unity or C Sharp script system like that, this template is probably for you because I don't like coding either. So that's why I've made this to where you can just kind of swap the graphics and change the settings and then have a game. So this is what you'll be looking at in the main menu for this after you download it. So we'll have our story mode, and this is just a menu with nothing in it. So you can quickly just go in here and change the graphics, change the buttons, and boom, there's your story menu. And you've got a credits where you can say thank you to people or whatnot, which also doesn't have any graphics in it. So it's just got like another, it's basically the same as the previous menu, as the story menu. And then you have like our play sample, and this will take you to like a sample of like a sample of the game that just uses basic shapes and basic objects to kind of show you the kind of functionality that you what functions and what kind of options the game has, right? So you've got enemies, you got pickups, you got weapons that you can use, you've got the restart, and I'll show you how to get rid of this later, right? And you've got like a mini map, you have life. So we'll go through all of that a little bit, and I'll show you how to quickly set this up to make your own game. All right. Um, and then I'll go back to main menu. And so after you've played around with the play sample, what you can do is you can actually go to the play demo. And this is what we were actually building on my Twitch stream before, right? So I did a lot of videos and live streams to show you how I set most of this stuff up. And this is just a video. What you're looking at right now is just a video of a cutscene that I made on Twitch, right? So you're definitely going to want to change this because it's just basically promotion for my games in my online store. Thank you very much. So if you don't want to watch all of that, you can just kind of skip this. See, here's my online store plug. So you can skip this, and this will take you to an actual sample game, with graphics that you can just kind of swap out at your leisure, right? And it's got like the standard stuff like the pickups. It has the dialogue system. We have a life bar. So I can go over here. I can like click this. I can click over here to activate the dialogue system, or I can like totally skip it, and then like I can activate the weapon I just picked up and like kill these guys. So it's got weapons, it's got enemies, it's got pickups, it's got dialogue, it has coins for scoring that you can grab. So I just grabbed like those 2 coins and my score went up. So yeah, that's kind of everything that we've kind of got in this game. So it has timers. Hold on, let me see if I can activate this one right here. You've got health, another dialogue. So I've already kind of gone through all of this on my previous Twitch stream. So if you want to see exactly what the sample game looks like, I recommend watching that. I'll continue, and then we can actually jump by hitting the space bar here, right? So yeah, all of this has kind of already been set up. We can see our mini map. We also have, after I answer this dialogue, we also have like hidden areas and stuff like that with our sprite map. Let me see what we've got. We have we've got spawners, we got enemies, we got timers, we have projectiles, we have what is it? We have particle effects in here. All right, and we also have like a sprite mask where we have hidden areas that you can kind of play around with. So yeah, everything is included. All of the stuff that you're seeing right now is included in this kit for you to use at your own leisure, right? And we have like our different weapons set up here. So I got my scatter shot that I'm going to use to kill these guys. So this is basically a complete game that you'll be able to play around with, and just kind of modify to your own needs. And that's why I haven't really put too much that's why I haven't really changed the graphics around, or put so much effort into the graphics, because I know that this is designed for you to make your own, and not to use the graphics that I've already kind of got in here, unless you really want to. But that's, I mean, if you want to paper little foxes around the screen, you can do that. Yeah, so yeah, that's what the game kit, the 2D game kit includes, right? And so what I'm going to do in this stream is I'm going to try to show you how to actually utilize this game kit. But if you're interested in it and you want to have it, then right now, like I said, it is on my website for download right now for free until the end of this month. So you can go to my website, creativemb.com, and if you click on, you can click on the home link, and it'll take you to my games page. And then you can like find the spirits of the lost wind. So like I'll just show you how to do that. So if you go here and you go here, then you'll notice that it says the spirits of the lost wind, a cute spin-off adventure game template for Wildfire. So this is the template game that you can like go to. And to download the template, you can just click this button here, and it will take you to a sign up page where you can like get more information on my game launches, and keep up with some of the new store items that I'm putting on my online store. And if you go down here and do the sign up, once you hit submit, it'll take you to a link where you can download this free 2D game template. And like I said, I'm only like keeping this free until March 31st, till the end of this month, because I need cash. I got kids, so I will start charging for it after that. But for now, it's free for download for anybody who's interested. So yeah, go check that out. And today's live stream, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to actually use this template. If you want to play the actual game, you can also like go to my itch.io page, and you can download the game that we're kind of building right now. And there's also a free download link here as well. In case you didn't catch it on my website, right? But after this week, since the template is kind of done and it's already available for download as a beta test, after this week or after this month, I'm going to go back to working on my main game, which is CDULO The Outer Rim, the game that I'm working on for my Kickstarter. All right. So, if you're interested in that, you can kind of find more information about that as well on my homepage at creativemb.com. Right. And so I'll be doing a lot of live streaming about how I'm building that game later. So for this stream, I'm not gonna stream too long because I'm kind of tired, and it's like almost 4 a.m. in the morning. So for this stream, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to basically use this template. So after you've downloaded the template from my website, like I just showed you before, so once you go here and you click this link and you download the template, when you open it up in Unity, you're basically going to be presented with a couple of different scenes. So, what I recommend doing is I recommend starting off with the sample scene. So you can go to sample scene, and this is what you're going to be looking at first. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that, there is a big ass message right here. So when we click play, so if you click play right now, you're just going to see this big, like, red, ugly message right here. And pause. The reason that message is there is because this template was designed in Unity 2019.4. It runs smoothly in 2019.4, and it also runs very well in 2020 and later versions. However, I did notice that there does tend to be a problem with the 2020 and above version, because like this template utilizes a package called TextMesh Pro, right? So TextMesh Pro is kind of funny sometimes because it works very well in 2019, but it doesn't really work so well, and I've had problems with it in 2020 and above, right? So if you're using a later version of Unity, and you open up this template and you're having a problem with it, it's probably because of that package, right? The TextMesh Pro package. So what you might have to do if you're getting an error, you might have to actually go in here and go into your package manager, and you might have to remove TextMesh Pro, which you can do like just by opening up the package manager and clicking remove down here. And what TextMesh Pro is basically it's just a fancy way of adding like stylized text to your games, so you can add like glow effects or border effects and stuff like that. It might not be necessary for most games, but it does add a little bit more oomph to your text. But it's not really necessary for a game. So if you're having errors when you open this and it's like talking about TextMesh Pro stuff, just remove it in a later version of Unity, and you should be fine. And the game kit should work, without a hitch. The only other external package that I've really implemented into this 2D game kit is the Cinemachine, which you're definitely going to want to keep because they give you a lot of functionality for like what you can do with your camera. As for tracking the character, moving with the character, adding like bounds and stuff like that, right? So those are the only two real external packages that I've from the App Store or from the Asset Store that I've implemented in here. All right, so let's go back to playing. So the first thing that you're going to want to do probably, if you open this up and you're not receiving errors, you're going to want to get rid of this message right here. So doing that is quite easy. You can just go to your UI temp. Um, so everything in this sample scene right now has a, I guess, what is it? I'm losing my English. Has a prefix post whatever with TEMP, right? Just to let you know that these are designed to be like a temporary file specifically for this particular scene, right? So if you want to get rid of this box up here that you're seeing, this red box, you can like, now you can zoom out on the menu here. If you want to get rid of this, it's under your UI temp, and all you have to do is go down to version text BKG and turn this off, and boom, that message is now gone. All right, and so that, yeah, everything here, if you'll notice, everything here is kind of set up to be very easy to use. So I've kind of organized everything into different like types of folders. So we have our default building blocks. So I'll go step by step through these. So, because what you're seeing in the sample scene is basically what you're going to be looking at in the actual level scene anyway. So start with the sample scene if you're new to this, and just kind of go through these, and you'll get an idea of how I set everything up, and that'll make it easier for you to build your other levels. So let's see, you can go to the main camera. The main camera you will not necessarily need to touch. You might need to, unless you're just changing the viewpoint, right? The range and stuff like that. So if you click on main camera, you don't really need to do so much with that one. This does have this red icon is Cinemachine, letting you know that the main camera does have Cinemachine attached to it. Under the main camera, you'll have a virtual camera, and this virtual camera is a Cinemachine component, and it allows you to like do cool stuff like set bounds or like change the size, change the clipping planes, and stuff like that. So if you want to change the size of the camera or like zoom in, zoom out, you'll just kind of play around with these settings right here. And that'll let you kind of set the scale of what you want to see on your screen. So that's very easy. Also, if you want to have like your camera move around within some bounds, like you can actually set that down here with the Cinemachine Confiner, which I actually have turned off right now because I don't necessarily need it for this game. That's mainly for like 2D platformers, I think, anyway. So you can actually set this if you want to have the bounds on. And in that case, you'll need to create an empty game object with a like collider on it, and then you'll just drag this empty game object into this area to kind of set what the bounds would look like. So for this particular level, I do have a bound set. I'm just not using it, and that is that yellow yellow polygon shape that you're seeing right here. Yeah, so if you're using if you're making a 2D side scroller or something like that, you might need it for a top-down game. Maybe not so much because I'm not using gravity or physics with this one. Well, I'm using physics, but I'm not really using gravity so much. So the main camera is something that should be pretty. You can pretty much leave alone unless you need to like tweak some like little small details, right? So yeah, let's go down to the next one. This cursor click temp. I did put this in here because like if you play the actual sample game, you'll notice, let's see, hold on, can I open that up right quick? So when you play the main sample game, you'll notice when the player is moving around, whenever I click on a location, there's a little blip that indicates where the player is gonna kind of move to. Yeah, so I've turned that off here. Um, just because like in the sample, I don't necessarily need it for the sample. Um, so you can't really like when I'm clicking, there's no indicator of where the player is gonna move to, right? In the actual level, when I click around, you'll notice that there is a little blue blip or a little indicator of where the player is going to be moving around to. If I click here, see that little blip right there whenever I click? Yeah, so that's what that is for. It's to kind of indicate like where the player is going to move or try to move to, right? But in the sample scene, I've kind of turned that off, so you can reactivate it if you want to. And that's what this cursor click temp is, because I was just kind of playing around with the size of that, or playing around with the size and the shape. And this is kind of what it looks like right here. So, when the player clicks, then, this icon will just kind of show up. All right, but that's not really a big thing. You can also change that down in your this is if it's blue, like if you notice this is blue, so it's a prefab, so that means that it's saved in the prefabs folder and it's a reusable object anyway. So you can do a lot of stuff with that. So I just left it up here because I was too lazy to move it. All right. All right. And so, yeah, let's go down to the default building blocks. Now, these default building blocks that you'll notice that they're kind of here's the folder. You can see the container for them. You can see, but if you click on the container, you'll notice all of these are turned off. And so this is what your default building blocks look like. These are all prefabs that I just kind of use to lay out levels and lay out like these spikes and stuff like that, right? So remember, prefabs are reusable objects. So this actually saves a lot of memory for the game. So if I wanted to quickly like lay out a new level, instead of like going through and finding a square and my sprites and stuff like that, I can just quickly use these default building blocks. For example, I'll grab like this rectangle right here, and I'll just duplicate it, and I can move it down here and maybe scale it a little bit, and then I can like duplicate that one, move it over here, duplicate this guy, move it over here, maybe switch the rotation. And if you'll notice, like so far I haven't even looked at code because I don't like looking at code. So that's the purpose of this right here, of this game template, right? And so I've got these over here, and since they're all prefabs, basically I can just kind of do whatever I want to them, and I can like change the color or change the tint, and boom, I just made another room very quickly, right? And it's not really taking up any additional memory because these are all prefab, so I'm just basically using one square and just kind of like making copies of that, which is less memory intensive. So that's why I have this default building block. So we have a bottom aligned rectangle. So we have two types of rectangles. We have our well, hold on, let's find our square first. So we have our square, which isn't really showing up for some reason. So we have our square, we have our bottom aligned rectangle. So for our bottom aligned rectangle, this one is kind of it's designed to where's my other rectangle? Okay, the bottom line rectangle, I have to quickly fix that because I just kind of because I actually changed that one earlier. So let me go into the sprite editor, and where are you? Where's my alignment at? Okay, yeah, it's aligned at the bottom down there. So when I rotate this one, it should like rotate on the bottom. And yeah, I'm getting really sleepy. Oh, that's because this isn't set for pivot point yet. Where am I? Yeah, pivot. All right, so make sure that yeah, that's something I forgot to mention. Make sure that your pivot point is set to pivot and not center. So now when I use this bottom align rectangle, it'll kind of pivot at the bottom, whereas the normal default rectangle pivots at the center. So I just put two of those in there just to kind of speed things up. Right, so yeah, these are your default building blocks that you can just keep on reusing over and over and over again to build out your levels, right? Or at least, build out like um a frame of your levels, right? But we're not gonna need these right now, so I'll go ahead and delete them. So just remember they're under here, and I normally keep them turned off. Yeah. All right, so that's your default building blocks. The next one is actually a major component. That's going to be your player temp. So I'm gonna go to do player temp first. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do player temp first. So this is your main player item in the game. And if you'll notice, I have not made this into a prefab, and I haven't done that on purpose because there are a few I didn't want to turn the player into a prefab because there might be a few different things that you're going to want to change and kind of customize before you make it a prefab. So when we take a look at the player temp, actually this is pretty simple as well, but it's a simple object, but most of the scripting in this game is actually on the player. It's actually attached to this player object, player game object. So you got our player game object, and it's assigned with the tag of player. And really, all we've got here is we've got a sprite renderer, and we have our scripts, which I'll go through in a little bit. So our sprite render scripts, rigid body 2D, and circle collider, and then like our inventory script and our additional attack script, which was I just kind of put there as an experiment. So that's what we have on the actual player container, right? The main player container. If we go into that, you'll notice that we have other things like we have the player's weapons, which are already attached, and we have a sprite mask and a mini map icon. So the sprite mask is just kind of like to allow the player to access or view hidden items or hidden levels in the scene, which we do have. And the mini map icon, the mini map is this thing right here. So the mini map icon is basically just a circle, like a purple circle that is only viewable in the mini map layer, right? So if you'll notice when I play the game, yeah, if you'll notice when I actually start playing the game, the player itself is blue, right? But the minimap icon for this is purple. So that's because the minimap icon is only available for view in the minimap layer. So we're not actually seeing it in the actual game. So it's kind of hiding. It's kind of covering the player, but it's not viewable except for only in the minimap, basically. All right. So that's what those elements are. So very simple, just a player container, the weapons inside of the player container, a sprite mask for the player to view like hidden objects and hidden rooms, and then a mini map icon so that we can actually see where the player is on the map, right? So I think we'll go ahead and like continue with the player temp, I guess. So the player has like a few different scripts. So we've got our click to move script, and I'm not going to go through and I'm not really going to show you the coding or how because I've already done that in previous Twitch streams. I'm not showed you how I coded most of this. So we have our click to move script, which is just I'm going to turn this off right now, which just kind of allowed us to kind of click the right mouse button to kind of move around. So in this game, our right mouse click is move and our left mouse click is select, and middle mouse click is to attack, right? So, and you can change the button or order of those in the script if you want to, right? So this is our click to move, which is on the right mouse click. So I can like change the player's speed. I can change the click effect. So for example, remember I showed you where, right now there's no indicator of where the player is going to move when I click. So if I wanted to add a click effect to it, I can just like go down here and I can use this click effect prefab basically. So I'll go, cursor click temp, and this template is designed to be code free, so I am using a lot of booleans and I'm using a lot of like drag and drop game objects in here, just to simplify stuff, right? So now I just quickly added a click effect to this by going in and just dragging in this prefab. So when I go to the game and I click, you'll notice we have these ugly like blue things that are not vanishing, right? But that tells us that indicates where our player is going to move, right? So, and you can kind of play around with these, edit them however you want. But for this one, I'm just going to get rid of this. So, like if I don't want to click effect here, I still need to, when you're working with this kit, you don't, in the player controller script, you don't want to leave any blank spaces, basically, because it'll throw an error. But say for example, like I'm like, well, I don't really want to click effect for this particular level, but I need to fill something into this blank, right? And into this click effect blank. Well, I do have a default null object, which is basically an empty game object that does absolutely nothing. It's just there to fill in spaces, right? So I can just like grab my null object and drag it into here, and that will fill the space, and so like I won't get an error, but basically it's just like, you know, an empty game object that absolutely does nothing. So when I click play, it doesn't instantiate anything. So if I like you know, click here, yeah, it's just kind of running around, but he's not really like, you know, instantiating too much, and you'll notice these things are gonna kind of start vanishing, you know, on their own. Yeah, so they kind of go away. And so, you know, that's kind of how, yeah, that's kind of how like I get around that with the, so if there's a blank space that you don't want, that you don't have an object for at the moment, or that you don't want to use the object for, use this null prefab, and that'll like, you know, take care of the problem for you. Under this player temp, we also have like our weapons. Hold on, like back to our player temp script. So that was the click to move script. Under the click to move script, you can like set the speed of the player, how fast the player can move. If dash is enabled, like there might be a dash attack. If dash is enabled, this will say how many pixels basically the player will dash forward. So you can set that, and like, you know, 50 is pretty good for this game. I had to set for like 200, and you know, she was like flying off the screen. Dash time, like so I just recommend that you kind of play around with these settings. So you can set like the dash time, if you want the dash time to last for like 1 minute, I mean like 1 second or 2 seconds. Start dash time, you know, how long you want to, like when the first dash is activated, how long you want that to last. You got a delay, like a delay between dashes, or this delay can be like between dashes or between attacks. So what I'm using this delay for is I'm using this delay for the timers, especially. So when I play this game, I did implement timers into this template. So for example, when the player picks up a weapon, this is like a nice little range weapon. So when I click on this, you'll notice there's a timer over here, right? So this timer is like, you know, a countdown timer for how long I can use that weapon. So, and that is, you know, set by the delay. So right now I picked up the range weapon because my melee attack is over there. So I picked up the range weapon. So if I would stop dying, when I click this and I click W, well, it's got a countdown timer, right? And so I basically have 10 seconds to use this weapon to kill everybody. This is attacking me, right? And then, you know, my weapon becomes deactivated. So, for this particular delay, this delay is actually going to be for the dash attack, right? So, let's see. We've got jump delay. So the player can jump, not on this level, but the player does have the ability to jump on the actual layer 1, level 1. So, like this is basically like how long the player will, how long until the player can jump again. So like maybe 1 second. Maybe I don't want the player to continuously jump, so like there's going to be like kind of like a jump reset time. That's what this jump delay is for. So I can like say, okay, the player has to wait 2 seconds to be able to jump again, or the player has to wait like 5 seconds, right? This is the jump speed, like like how many pixels the player, can kind of jump. And right now on this level, they're both set to 0, but in the actual game, a game demo, you can check those settings out. Dash effect. This is a particle effect for that dash. When the player starts dashing, it's going to play some play some particles. So I did go ahead and add some effects to this template as well. So if you go here and you go under the effects folder, you'll notice I put a lot of pre-made particles and effects that I kind of use for my other game in here as well, that I use for my other games. So you can just kind of go through these and play with them. If you want to see what an effect looks like, you can just go here and just drag it onto the scene and hit play, and you'll see what it looks like there, and then you can decide which one you want to use in your scene. Let's see, what else do we have? So got click to move, we got our I've explained all that. This player controller script, this is where the meat and potatoes of this template actually kind of resides. So most of the code is actually on this script, and so I'll quickly walk you through that. So we have our health. So right now when we play the game, you'll notice that the player has a standard default kind of text text based text based health UI. And let me go ahead and actually maximize that. Okay, so right now our player has a standard default text-based UI. So whenever he takes damage, he had um, you know, 5 lives, but 5 hit points. But now he's taking damage, so he's gonna HP will drop down to 0, and he's just gonna die, right? So start off with 5, run into these 4, 3, and dead. All right. So that's right now that's the default that we have for managing the player's ability to live and die in this game. But I did add a few other things. So for example, max health 5, I could set this to whatever I want. Health, I could set it to whatever I want. Max health, I could set this for to 100 if I wanted to. Is max health, it's just, this is not something that you're really going to need to set unless you want to set it at the beginning of a level. So if you want the player to enter the level with max health, then you can actually just turn this boolean on. So a lot of the coding for this game is actually done in boolean format. That's because for beginners, a lot of mathematical calculations and complex coding might be a little bit too difficult. And I want this to be simple and easily accessible to everyone. So most of this code is booleans, which are just basically true or false statements, or kind of like switches on and off. So, if you want something to work in the game, if you want maybe an attack to be available, you'll just switch the boolean to true. If you don't want it to be available at the start of the level, you'll just switch it to false, which will be off, right? So you'll see a lot of boolean boolean code in here. And so this whole template is basically made of booleans and game objects. That's about it. Just to kind of simplify everything. Right, and let's go back over here. All right, so for example, if I want the player to start off with max health at the beginning of a level, I'll just turn this on, and the player will start off with 5 automatically, right? Health display. So this is just under the UI. So this is the health text, which we were kind of which is this right here, this HP over here. We have, so right now the player is using a health text display, which basically says HP 0. But I did go ahead and put in an option for a health bar. So, say I want my player to use the health bar instead of this health, text display. Well, what I can do is I can just like click over here, and you'll notice that we do have a health bar here. Right now, the health bar is turned off, so you can't see it. But when I click turn this on, there's the health bar. And then I can I could actually hide my health text display back there, and that'll kind of get rid of that, right? So I can hide both that and the label. And now when I play the game, yay, we have a health bar instead of that, text, right? And it still works the same way. So when the player takes damage, he can, it'll deduct his life, accordingly. And that looks a lot better actually. So so we already have health bars set up in here for the player. And you can actually just copy and duplicate these for the enemies if you wanted to. But now I'm going to show you how easy it is for you to use this kit to kind of like customize your UI. So say for example, I've got, right now I have like a cool little health bar for my player, but if you'll notice that that health bar is blue, right? So when I click on the health bar here, yeah, when I click on the health bar here and I go to like the gradients, you'll notice that, it starts off as blue, and then as the player takes damage, it goes to green, and then it goes to yellow, and then finally it goes to red, right? Well, what if I want to have a different type of text bar, right? Well, instead of having to rebuild everything yourself, all you have to do in this kit is you just like go here and click duplicate, and you can click here, and let's say I want this one to be red instead. You just kind of change the color here, and I might change this one to, I don't know, orange, and then I'll make this last one, like green. I don't know why I would do that, but yeah, I'll make it green or blue or something like that, right? So, now I've just created another health bar. So I could like just name this health bar 2. Right, so health bar 2 here. And I'll turn this health bar off. Now, in order to add this health bar to our player, it's actually very easy. I just go to the player temp, and I go to, player health bar. And instead of using this one, I'll just drag and drop this one in here. And boom, we just switched our health bars to a different color. Alright, so yeah, there we go. So remember it was blue before, but now we've got a nice little red health bar that turns orange, and then yellow, and then I turn blue before I die. And that's really how easy it is to go ahead and kind of start customizing your UI and your graphics in this like 2D kit. So I want you to keep that in mind. All you have to do is just like duplicate or copy something, and then like switch it to whatever you like. And then, basically, if you want to prefab it, you can prefab it, and you're good to go. You know, so let's see, what else do we have? So we just kind of switched the health bar, or we added a health bar. We switched the health bar. We can set whether the player is jumping, or we can actually check to see if the player is jumping. Well, when you're playing this game in demo mode, in the Unity editor, and you're not using maximize screen, you can actually check to see like if a lot of your options are working as you play the game by just checking to see, like, for example, well, if I press the space bar, is the player jumping, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and do that. This player object in the sample doesn't jump. But if I wanted to check to see if jumping is actually working, what I can do is I can open it up here, and I can like keep an eye on this. On this one right here, right? So let me go ahead and restart that. So I'll just click the player temp. I'll run over here and hide right quick. Alright, so I can click player temp and I can check to see, okay, like, is jumping. So if I press space, yep. Then I'll get, if I see a check mark, that means that my player just jumped. So, you know, like, that means that that functionality is actually working. Right, and the default level has a pretty quick, has a lot of enemies on it, so you're going to die very quickly unless you cut them off. But, you know, so you can set the speed for all of them as well. Right, and now what else do we have? So we've got that. So in jumping, we have our weapons. We got our kill zone object, which I'll explain later. We have like our jump time. So like like I said, on this level the player doesn't jump, but if I wanted the player to jump, I could, like, you know, just like press the space bar in this case, and like dictate how many pixels I want him or her to move forward. And then, like, you know, like I can also specify the time between jumps, like how often I want the player be able to jump, like every 2 seconds, every 5 seconds. Start time between jumps I've kind of already explained. Ranged weapon. So this is where we start getting into like the weapons that are located under the player. So, you know, these weapons are basically kind of set up the same. So you have I'll go ahead and turn this one on. This is his default ranged weapon. So we have our ranged weapon temp. And then if I go here, I can click on this is just a container. The ranged weapon temp is just a container, so there are no scripts or anything attached to it. The main scripts are attached on the actual weapon sprite, right? So if I click on the weapon sprite, you'll notice that all I have is a sprite renderer, and I have a color. Well, in this case, our sprite is this like this bottom is basically the prefab, our bottom aligned like rectangle, and I've just set the color to blue, so I can kind of just change this color to whatever I want it to be. But, you know, I'll just go ahead and leave it as blue right now. And you know, this weapon is visible, so I've got it set to blue, and I have the opacity set all the way up to 1 to where we can actually see it. And it's got a sprite render, and it has a weapon script. And you know, this weapon script, I just recommend using it as it is with a -9 degree angle. And it has a boolean that says whether the weapon can be like rotated or not. And we have our projectile and our shot point, which is right here, which says where the bullet or the projectile will instantiate from. We have our time between shots and our start time between shots. So let me show you that. So right now, this weapon is active because I've kind of set it to active by default. Right, so we've got, so we have our weapon here. All right, so now if you notice, the weapon does rotate, it does shoot bullets. Let's go ahead and pick this up again. So we got our blue box that can kind of rotate, shoot bullets, stuff like that, you know, like kill enemies and all of this stuff, right? Now, what might happen here is, say for right now the weapon can kind of rotate, but what if I don't want the weapon to rotate? Well, if I don't want the weapon to rotate, I can just like click on the player temp, and I can go to like oh, I just died. So like I said, I might want when you do this, when you're testing, you might want to remove some of the enemies. I just left them in here by default, but I'll go ahead and kill these guys just for the sake of argument. Boom, die, 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 and die, 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 die. Huh. Okay, I'm getting killed in my own game a lot. But say for example, I didn't want this weapon to be able to rotate. Then I would actually go up here, and I would go to my player temp, and I would find this like ranged weapon, and I'm getting sleepy. So, all right, actually I'll show you this one a little bit later in the I'll show this one to you on the actual level one thing. It'll be easier to explain then. But I think my it's almost 4:30 in the morning, and I'm notice my brain is starting to kind of turn to mush. So I'm gonna go ahead and like drop off of this stream, I think, and I'll continue with this a little bit tomorrow. But I'm just kind of walking you through what the game kit has. However, I do recommend that you play with this game kit by yourself because it's actually pretty easy to figure out. So, you know, like start with the default sample scene. So I highly recommend starting with the default sample scene. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and save this. Yeah. And then once you kind of like have gone through and check to see how I have everything laid out, okay, we got a player, we have the weapons, and all of these weapons are basically set up the same, right? So we have the player, we have the weapons, we have a sprite mask which allows the player to see hidden objects. We have our mini map icon which lets us see where the player is on the mini map. All right, now what else do we have? And then you can kind of go through these scripts, to see what we've got set up here. And I'll explain more about these key cards and stuff tomorrow, or I mean today when I wake up. Right? And then after you've gone through that, I recommend going through the canvases. So you're not really gonna have to do too much with the canvases. I mean, you can go through, you can just kind of look at them, but they're kind of already set up and they already work. They already have the functionality that you'll need for them. So the cursor canvas, you don't really have to do anything with it. It's just kind of got the transition canvas attached to it and the actual cursor that you're looking at. So that one you probably won't need to mess with at all unless you want to change your transitions, change the look and style of your transitions, on the transitions panel. So we'll go over that tomorrow as well. The UI is another big element, because it's got all of your UI elements, and it also has your inventory, your spell icons, which I'll explain later, your minimap window, and it also has like your attack cards, and so it's got your attack cards and like your first attack card. So I'll explain what those are as well. What else do we have? After that, we have our Dialog Manager, which manages all of the dialogue, all of the dialogue scripts in your game. So these are like the actual dialogue scripts and the actual buttons that interact with it. And then like you'll have your controllers, which I only have like a game controller, which I'm actually not really using. Actually, I just put it there in case somebody wanted to use one. Got our music, which are background music, which is easy to kind of switch around. After that, we'll have our sample level. So our sample level is set up like this. So it's kind of broken down into the room, the obstacles. So you can kind of see what's kind of highlighting over here. So you got the room, which is like all the walls and stuff like that. We have, and you can click in this and, kind of see what we've got. Obstacles, interactables, which I don't think I have on here. Do I have any interactables? Okay, yeah, I do have like one or two. We got our interactables. We have our portals, which are not really activated at the moment. And then we have our pickups, which are like the prefabs that you can kind of see all scattered throughout the level here. So if you want to start using this kit, what I recommend, like the fastest and the easiest and fastest way to like really get used to this kit is to download it and go to the sample scene. And if you really want to go ahead and start making your own level, just go ahead and click Control D and like duplicate this level, and then just like go into this sample level right here, and just go ahead and start removing obstacles or objects that you don't want. So you can just kind of like click on this and like turn it off, and boom, there goes all of those, and then you can kind of start laying out your level very quickly. And you can immediately go ahead and start testing with the code, with the elements in the code that I've already kind of like put in here, right? And then once you have your level kind of set up the way you want it, you can just go ahead and play and like set up a quick portal to exit the level somewhere, which would be like this over here, and boom. So I just activated the exit portal, And if I run around here, I got my gun. Alright, I don't want to die, so I'm going to go ahead and activate this guy. You know, try to kill as many of these people as possible. You get off me. Oh, I just killed myself. Alright, so those are those cards I was telling you about, by the way. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, and now let's go ahead and exit the level. Oh, I ran right through that one. Alright, like my exit level is not working. Why? Okay, transition main menu. Oh, main menu. Oh, okay, that's because I have it set for a delay of 1.5. But anyway, that's how, you know, like it's just kind of set up to where everything is just kind of drag and drop, or just kind of swapping, you know, just making little minor adjustments and minor changes to you know, to create a new level. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off because my brain is like gone and I've got to get some sleep because I gotta wake up and do some training at the park tomorrow. But I'll continue to go through this a little bit later and like show you what else I've kind of built into this. But once you like play around with the game kit, which I like, which as I mentioned, you can like download for free right now until the end of this month, um, until the 31st of this month. So you can just go to creativemv.com games. Go to this, click here, register your email address, and like go ahead and download this to go ahead and start making your own games. But once you get a feel for like how it is, how it's set up, I think it'll be easy for you to use because I tried to make this as code free as possible and as easy for beginners as possible. So just, do you want a weapon? Yes. Do you want a weapon? No. Is this weapon on? Yes. Is this weapon not on? No. You know, this kind of thing, right? Um, so yeah, just go through this and play around with it, and I'll jump back on tomorrow with a little bit more like a detail for a little bit more detailed explanation for like the levels, the spawners, the pop-up dialogues, which are these yellow things that you're seeing right here for like NPC dialogues, enemies and stuff like that. All right, and that's going to be it for me tonight, or rather this morning. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the stream. Like I said, stop by my website, creativemv.com, to download this, or also stop by to check out my my Kickstarter game that I will be focusing on from the end of this month. Yeah, I got a lot of new, good, cool character artwork, you know, that I've done. So stop by to check that out and like sign up for it. You know, I'll let you know when it's going to be available for wishlist. And I hope everyone has a great morning or night wherever you are in the world. And I will try to see you on again probably tomorrow around like maybe the same time. I need to start playing some games again, so I'll probably start playing League of Legends again. And a friend of mine gave me a really good present, a new PS5 that I need to break in. I'm having some trouble like streaming with this one, with the PS5 through my Elgato card, so I might need to upgrade my Elgato card at some point before I can use it with the PS5. That's why I haven't been streaming on PS5 yet. But everyone have a good one. I'm gonna go hit the sack now because I can't really even speak anymore, and I will see you all online tomorrow. All right, so everyone, peace out and have a good morning.